Harrison started the night as the favourite for the group. He remains the favourite for the group for everything we just said about Rod Chambers and the way he finished. Phil knows. He'll be very quietly confident. He takes his chances. Still will take some beating. It will be Rob, though, to get us underway.
He's got a bauble. That cue ball was flying.
Let's have another look.
Nearly leaves the table.
Yeah. That's not as good as he can hit it. That's the kind way of saying it. I would suggest anytime the cue ball hits below the centre pocket when you're front ball breaking, it's very wild. He won't care though. He's made a ball and he's got a chance. Pretty good one as well.
Yeah, there's an argument for both colour sets, to be honest. I think I'd be favouring maybe yellows and take the one over the middle first shot.
Yeah, I'm with you. My first reaction was he's going to have to go reds, but the fact that he could pop that yellow over the left centre, I'm with you. I prefer the yellows, and that's not come out too badly. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, that was a nice little flick on the red as he potted the yellow into the middle, which allows him position to just pot this, and I think he can just roll through and land with a choice of any of the three yellows that he's closer to.
If he stops it dead, he might go right centre or the plant potentially. To try and roll it through, and it's gone a little awkward. Wasn't sure if he was dead straight. I wasn't sure if he could just hold, but yeah, that's that turn of angle.
He's got to get the bite here on the cue ball as he pots this and just flick off the yellow.
Could have done with that yellow bouncing or stopping. Just being off the cushion a full turn would have really helped, because the positional shot to play on the yellow to top left, because the left hand one of the two together will go top left, but he needs to be good on it to deal with the other yellow as well. It's going to be a tough positional shot.
There could be an argument to take the yellow that's stuck to the other yellow into the corner now.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Does he have to play a cannon big on a hold?
Just slide by the red and almost just bump into the yellows, you mean?
Yeah.
He gets the left-hand side on. He gets the cannon, but it's not ideal.
He cannoned the left one of the two yellows, and ideally needed to cannon the other side. Cue ball's going to be travelling around the back of these reds.
Where are you going, Rob? This is very well guarded.
Just challenge Phil and play a cross double on the yellow up and down the table.
I'm just wondering, is the kick shot on? Does the yellow pass the 8 ball? We just had a quick look. No, because he's not playing it.
Play it off the red, off the side rail into the bottom top left hand corner. No. Personally, I don't see any value in that.
Yeah. Such a big second favourite when you leave one up and your opponent's got 6. You're better off trying to come up with even if it's a 1 in 50 shot.
Yeah, roll the dice really, because Phil's just gonna take control, especially with the experience of Phil. He's of anyone you want to play in this type of frame, it's not Phil.
I sort of liked your shot, the yellow off the red. You're going to get pretty close to hitting the red half ball, aren't you? And you are going to send it towards that top left-hand corner off the right-hand side cushion. Good things can happen if you get it up into that area. Anyway, he decided to play safe, and this is what he's now been left.
He made a good hit, but like we said, where's the odds are in his favour to play the hard shot last time?
Because he had sight of it. He could see it. You could, whenever you're playing practice matches, I always think it's a lot of fun when you end up in those situations. You don't want to ever end up in those situations, but challenge yourself to, can you get creative? Can you find the big shot, the miracle shot? We saw Phil do it in the first match of the night. Surprised by that, Phil. He's left full sight of this yellow. An argument to say, do you not just go from where he was? It was arguably one cannon required and plenty of balls to do that with. He'll go this time, that's for sure.
I think I'd have been playing a very hard hit and hope shot there and just closed my eyes.
I love hearing professional pool players say that. Every now and then it's what's required, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think sometimes that's what's good about this rule set. It's sort of, you're forced into it, and it creates drama, excitement, and keeps everyone involved in the frame, essentially.
Yeah, the worst thing that can happen is it goes horribly wrong and you leave an easy run out. Well, that's what you left anyway, so.
Phil's not running the clock down already, is he?
Well, I think this is a very small part of why Phil does have issues with the clock from time to time. He ends up in a lot of 6-red shootouts as well. Is he will take slightly longer on layouts like this than other players. I think we've seen, certainly from my perspective, spending my time in the commentary box watching players now that we're into year 5, the general pace of play, even at 30 seconds a shot, has quickened across the board. But Phil would still take his time from certain layouts. I mean, this was pretty much a ball over every pocket at the top of the table and the 8 ball in the middle of the table at the bottom. It didn't need too much thought.
It's amazing to see how much the players have all adjusted to the shot clock now, when in year 1 and year 2 it was the big talking points.
Yeah, and you know, we talk a lot about the speedsters out there, you know, the likes of the Sean Chipperfields and the Jordan Shepherds and the Chris Mellings. And, you know, we talk about them because they play quickly, you know, as having good advantages when we come to 6-red shootouts. They just don't end up in 6-red shootouts because they play quicker in natural play. Their matches go deeper, whether they win or lose. They don't always win, of course, but I think players can benefit now by just upping their natural pace when there's no need to think about anything. Don't overdo it.
Yeah, exactly that. And I also think that the players that play quicker and it's a more natural pace, their practice game transfers into the match play easier, and you always see the best version of them. I think the slower players can sort of see doubt creep into their mind and where they make more mistakes.
Yeah, completely agree. It's a good break from Phil, which was definitely a story in the first match for him. While we're talking about the speedsters on the tour, I can't talk about the quick players on the tour without mentioning Oli Bale, who may well be the quickest now, for my money. Of course, for Oli went really well a few weeks ago, made it through to the second stage. Looking forward to seeing what he does when we see him again in a couple of months' time.
Yeah, it was nice to see Oli get that victory that night, because for him, he's very much a confidence player as well, and that just settles his season down straight away, and he'll be bouncing around the hotel in Daventry in a few weeks' time.
Yeah. A place where he's actually had some success as well, playing seniors events. British Open in a few weeks. That's what we're talking about. Tricky chance for Phil, just the one yellow to deal with though, and he's having no part of it. Doesn't want to take it on.
And as you see Phil there, he's intentionally not covered the pocket. So he stopped Rob from being able to play the loss of turn, and he's positioned these yellows whereby it may be in a plant, it may slightly be off.
Do you think that's in his mind as he's playing it, that he might be leaving a 3-ball plant?
With Phil, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the cleverer players,
yeah,
and he sees the game so much better than a lot of others. So I would never rule it out with Phil. Just keeping things tight, and this frame all of a sudden has got legs, and if Phil was to come be the victor of this frame, we could end up being 2-0 up with 3-4 minutes left.
Another potentially very clever shot from Phil as well, trying to make Rob move the red at the top of the table. He doesn't quite stop him from seeing the other reds, but if he makes Rob move that red, then he's kind of, that's his ball that he could potentially use as a breaker, and he wants to try and get it away, gain more of a safety control.
Has Phil may just play the yellow down onto the red and just disturb it slightly? Just send it into that area to stop that breakout.
He's got to reach the cushion there, Phil. And it doesn't. Ball in hand then. So now he can absolutely give himself the angle he needs to play the breakout shot.
I think, would you play this and screw directly into the red?
Yeah, so definitely be playing red to the left-hand side and going into it that way, rather than if you go to the right-hand side. It looks like he's eyeing up the right-hand side, but you've got topping into it's not a good option.
Yeah, by screwing into the red as well, you're guaranteed to be on the red, which is over the middle pocket, well, in the centre of the table, essentially.
Yeah.
You just got to play this hard.
Yeah, beautiful shot. He went for the real control. As long as he got the red popped out, he'd have a shot, and he's done that. It's not a great angle, but he's got choices.
Yeah, ideally, he'd want to take the one in the middle of the table, but he'll be hampered by the yellow, so this is a big shot for the frame and the match, really. It's hard to control the cue ball here.
If he's on the bottom red, it's perfect. Excellent shot.
I think he's just on it.
Plenty of angle just to stun up. Doesn't even need to go too far up the table. I have to say it's a big mistake from Phil Harrison. He was in control of this frame. Just maybe overthought it just a fraction. Giving away the foul, that was very much an unforced error.
Screw off the side rail. Just held up.
Very good from Rob Chambers. That first shot, popping it out and then finding the next shot with hampered cueing. Celebrated by his brother, gets the big fist pump. I've done the calculations for them. If Rob was to get the victory tonight, he can't play John until the semi-finals. Even though they're playing 3 weeks apart, they will be in different second stage groups, and therefore they can only play in the semi-final.
Do you think they've mapped that out already?
Well, I told them when I saw them about 7 weeks ago, just before either of them played, I said, I've checked and you can't play each other till the semi-final. But they've obviously both now signed up to tour. They will hopefully, from our perspective, get to play each other at some point, and we'll look forward to that match when it happens.
See Rob's break here. The cue ball has been moving quite a bit tonight on it. And that was perfect break.
Just come out awkward. Is that a 3-ball plant on the red, 8-ball red? The reason I say that, could open everything up, but it looks like the yellow's in the way. You'd have to play it with a lot of positivity as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, just would the 8-ball end up going towards the rail and stay
it'd
on
be
the
dead
yellow?
anyway. Yeah. I don't like the shot. But then what do you do? I suppose you could play into the 8-ball maybe, and the red would still go. You've got a few reds around it, but I'd want to be dealing with it early.
I think this is one of them finishes where sometimes when you're sat in the chair, you're happy the opponent's going.
Yeah.
Because the odds are they won't get it. And
But do you think there was an option there? If Rob tops through further, the one he's playing now, play the loss of turn with it. He's going to take it into the centre. Get rid of that yellow over the bottom corner pocket. Slightly risky because you'd be leaving yellows on, you'd feel, but it'd be a really tough layout on yellows.
Take control as well, yeah. I didn't see it initially, but he's going all attack here. He's going to try to pot this and go off the side rail into the black and the red.
Decided to go into the yellow and try and do it.
I thought he may have stunned it off the side rail.
I like your shot because you're going into the 8 ball potentially. The red would still go. Good things would happen with that. Whereas the way he was going, even if he got the yellow into the 8 ball, there's a chance that they'd all still be stuck together.
It's probably a blessing in disguise that he's not potted that and dug a bigger hole, and we're now into the critical stage of the match, the 5 minute section with the 15-second shot clock. And
let me ask you from Rob's perspective, because I think we know the answer with Phil Harrison. He'd want to avoid the 6 red at all costs, even though he's had some really good success here. He's won titles with it. He won the Masters with a 6 red shootout. If you were Rob right now, you okay with this finishing 1-1? Just play this out for 4 minutes, and then you sort of basically what you're getting at is worst case scenario. You win your final match, you're guaranteed worst case a 6 red then. Yeah,
and I think would Zach be happy with it? Who's sitting there waiting and watching?
Well, he'd still need Hiten Patel to have a result for him to have a chance, wouldn't he? He'd still need Phil not to win his final game, but it's more of a chance for him. I think if I'm Zach, I'd still want Rob Chambers to win this match.
As we saw there, Phil hadn't made his mind up and had to commit to the shot, but what a shot he's just played. Rob's just got to make sure he doesn't disturb the balls on the bottom of the table, which he's done.
He's opened it up just a little bit. Will Phil Harrison be tempted?
Phil could play a really tough snooker on Rob. Pot this yellow to the top right and leave the cue ball behind the two that are stuck together. He's seen it. This is a must hit now for Rob, because if Phil gets ball in hand, the awkward yellow which is by the 8 ball becomes easy.
Oh, he gets it out though. It's a good hit, but it gets the yellow out. Okay, not fully out, but out enough that Phil Harrison will now take this on. He's taking it on with 2:16. He could do this at a pace where he's potentially not leaving enough time to counter. If he used the clock wisely here.
See Phil having a walk around. He occasionally gets lost in thinking about it, but this is a big shot now. I think he's got to make sure he just cues this really well and gets out.
I don't think he needs to move it too far. He could take the yellow top right, couldn't he? No, he does come back out for it. It's gone a little bit. It's okay. It goes to the same pocket, doesn't he? So he could go right centre and then come back for it. Natural angle round. He's worked this out really, really well.
He's asking for an extension, but he hasn't got one, so he's just running it down slightly. Phil's breaking the next frame.
Yeah, and it might seem nothing. He leaves 56 seconds. Yeah, a little grimace there, because it might seem like nothing, the fact that he hasn't run that down to sub 30. But if that was in the hands of a Stevie Dempsey or a Sean Story, you know that would have been run down below that. You know, I'm not saying either made it a buzzer beater. Because he plays the next break, it doesn't matter the buzzer beater, but make sure there's no reverse clearance options.
100%. And the Stevie Dempsey and the Sean Stories are the best at manipulating that clock to their advantage.
Yeah.
they would 100%. Phil would have been breaking with 8 seconds left the way they'd have mapped it out.
Yeah, agree. So now a dry break, Rob will have a chance, but if Phil makes a ball, that should be that. Only thing that surprised me there, Phil, although he's made a ball but it's not on anything, is he went for his stand-up break, which is his break where he hits with more power, but he loses control. He would have felt like he'd have gone for the control break. I mean, it's as long as he doesn't leave a shot on, he can just play safe, leave the cue ball in the corner.
He's using his extension here as well to use as much of the clock as he can. Rob's going to be coming to the table with 15, 20 seconds left. There's not enough time.
Cut this goes, so he's taking it on. That is that. So Phil Harrison will take the victory into the final match of the night. All he has to do is avoid defeat and he will be safely through. Another fascinating match, all about frame 3, the tactical battle that Phil Harrison won. But thanks to that frame, he makes it 2 wins from 2 and he goes to the top of the table in the Champions League.